Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has arrived in the United Arab Emirates, and with this visit, he seeks to strengthen economic relations with the country, as the cash-strapped nation at this point of time is struggling with a lot of financial difficulties. The Pakistani Prime Minister will be holding talks with the President of the United Arab Emirates, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, as part of his two-day-long visit. The meeting between the two leaders is expected to focus on advancing economic, trade and investment ties between the two friendly nations. And apart from this, creating more opportunities for the Pakistani workforce in the United Arab Emirates is also likely to figure in the talks. Now, this is Shehbaz Sharif's third visit to the United Arab Emirates since he assumed office last year. He's being accompanied by a high-level delegation that includes several key cabinet ministers. Now, Sharif will also be holding meetings with the Emirati businessmen and investors to try and discuss ways to enhance bilateral trade and investment. The timing, remember, is very, very important here, as it comes at a time when Islamabad's foreign reserves are dwindling to some pretty dangerous levels. Now, just earlier this week, the Central Bank of Pakistan had reported that the country's foreign exchange reserves had dipped to just about $5.8 billion. And this is the lowest that the figures have gone in the last 8 years. And taking note of the concerning situation in Pakistan, the World Economic Forum has said that the country is actually facing a huge threat of hunger and distress as prices continue to rise. The World Economic Forum additionally has also warned that the crisis can actually get aggravated in the near future, given the constrained supplies. And amidst these troubles, there is some respite that appears to be on the way for Pakistan. Recently, the Chief of Army Staff, Asim Munir, visited Saudi Arabia to boost bilateral ties between the two allies. And after the meeting, what is interesting is that the Saudis reportedly agreed to beef up their deposits in Islamabad from $2 billion to about $5 billion. All right, now to give us more insights in terms of what, of course, is expected of Shehbaz Sharif's visit to the United Arab Emirates, we're being joined in by our Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik, who's joining us live on this broadcast. Now, Anas, this, of course, is a very crucial trip for the Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, who's making his visit to the United Arab Emirates. Tell us more in terms of what, of course, is expected, especially, in the context of the dwindling foreign exchange reserves in Pakistan.
Well, he's already landed there. He was received by the Minister for Economic Affairs. This is Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif's third visit, Saleh, and earlier, as you were speaking earlier in the day as well, with regards to that worry of a rollover because of the economic conditions. Remember, Pakistan was to pay $2 billion of loan back to the UAE in March, but that now stands rolled over. And not just that, in fact, UAE is also now giving an additional $1 billion loan to Pakistan to be kept in its foreign exchange reserves. So that would somehow sustain or give a semblance of sustaining a sustainable economy. The Pakistani Prime Minister has also invited the President of the United Arab Emirates, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, during his ongoing visit to Pakistan, and as per the Pakistani Prime Minister office, the invitation extended has been accepted as well. So we would be seeing some movement on that in
right.
probably weeks to come, because it's the hunting season as well. The Pakistani Prime Minister will also be holding meetings with Emirati businessmen later today.
Right.
And tomorrow, remember, is an important day where Pakistan and UAE both celebrate the establishment of bilateral relations, 51 years of establishment of bilateral relations. Saleh?
Absolutely, indeed. That, of course, is a very crucial aspect of this visit as well. Now, Anas, a lot of people within Pakistan and indeed in the rest of the world are looking at, how things are happening in Pakistan, where the economy is in a pretty bad shape. The forex exchange reserves are down to about $5.8 billion in Pakistan. Now, Pakistan, of course, gets a lot of investments and also financial help from these nations in the Gulf, with which Pakistan enjoys a very close relationship. Tell us a bit about the economic significance of Pakistan's relationship with the United Arab Emirates and also with that of the Saudis.
Well, the economic cooperation Pakistan has been quite greatly dependent on the United Arab Emirates. We've seen that Gulf nations, precisely the UAE and Saudi Arab, have been coming time and again to Pakistan, Islamabad's rescue, and Pakistan's greater number of workforce resides in the UAE. 17 million Pakistanis, 17 million Pakistanis reside in the UAE. So there has been greater economic dependence. UAE has been a time-tested partner of Islamabad, and that is one of the reasons as well that at such a turbulent time, when the economic reserves have depleted below in fact $5 billion, the Pakistani Prime Minister has went to the UAE, and he's certainly not returning empty-handed. He has a rollover of $2 billion guaranteed, so probably that's an extension by a year. We're yet to know how long for the rollover is for, because remember, as I said earlier, Pakistan was to return $2 billion, but those $2 billion that were to be returned in March this year have been rolled over, and an additional $1 billion have been given as loan. So by and large, it would be seen somewhat as a successful visit on the part of Islamabad to the United Arab Emirates by the Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. Saleh?
Absolutely, indeed. Thank you very much indeed, Anas Malik, for joining us and getting us all those insights there. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.